Welcome back, everybody, to the next episode of Coffee with Spects and Bryce. I am back in the original area. Well, I mean, that picture's still there, but no door behind me. Just back to it. No headset either.
And no random background.
Yeah, I mean, the headset's here. I could always use it if we miss it.
I mean, we're gonna get tons of comments on this one, being like hashtag bring back the headset.
It was awful. The audio wasn't too bad.
It wasn't. No, at least you were intelligible. Unlike when we had Jake on and he was on his laptop and like
can't between the camera. At least you could see me.
Yeah, no, we could see you. We could hear you well enough. Both of which the Jake was iffy sometimes. So.
Yeah, well, what you gonna do?
Which isn't Jake's fault. He's not set up for this kind of thing.
There's a little bit more to talk about today. We got Lakers. We got Emily the Show being stupid. We got the Angels being stupid. So I guess we'll start with the video game stuff and kind of work our way down.
Kind of like we usually do, right?
I guess so. Anything special you're doing? Well, we're playing Valheim together off stream.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much exclusively off stream it seems like, but no, it's good times. It's I've enjoyed that you're actually enjoying yourself with this one instead of like Terraria where you were kind of like
falling asleep in my chair.
Enjoying yourself. It's a little easier to figure it out with Valheim with certain things. Although I do still think Terraria in a lot of ways is more accessible. But Valheim just with Valheim, if you have someone who knows what they're doing, it's pretty accessible. With Terraria, it's accessible if you don't have someone who knows what they're doing. It's also accessible if you have someone who knows what they're doing, but Valheim becomes exponentially more accessible when you have somebody who's like aware. Your
mic, you went out again on your mic.
I can you hear me?
Yeah. It's like you're doing what mine did, where it's like you're not talking into it directly sometimes.
Here. I'll go like right here.
There you go.
Right up into my mouth.
Okay, maybe not that close.
How about this?
That's probably better.
That's where we'll sit. Anyways. No, Valheim off stream.
I think you have it on. This is random. I think you have it on the wrong setting back here with that knob. I don't know if you can see mine.
No, it's fine.
Oh, 'cause I have it on the third one, where it kind of like funnels it towards your face.
No, that one.
Where's my box?
I forget what's wrong with that pattern for me, but I need it like right here.
Yeah, that's I think that's
this one.
I'm gonna look.
I've looked it up in the past, and like this one shuts out the volume for when like my girls are like just talking. It's only when they start screaming that.
I thought
that sounds really dark.
Which one is it? I use the butt. Yeah. Oh, I just talk into it because I have it in front. That's why. Because it works better for me to have it like right there, because that's where I like to have it.
Mine is bi-directional, so that means either side can talk into it.
I have the super cardioid, which is like the front. I have the front.
Does this sound much different?
No.
It probably wouldn't, because there's no other noise besides. The only difference between this one and the other one was the other one might pick up more noise coming from over here, but it won't pick up a ton of noise coming from that direction. This one is pick up all noise here, very little noise here.
I don't know. It's the one I use works for me, but I have like no other audio like talk.
I think I also set this setting before I had what's it called? I had this setting set before I had a mic holder thing.
Oh, that might be it.
So it was like a matter of like giving myself a little bit more leeway.
Probably.
So all I know is I think one day I was just kind of like, I did like an OBS test and I was just like, I turned it to like different settings and was like, which one sounds the best?
Gotcha.
And just stuck with the one that worked.
Gotcha. So Valheim.
So Valheim, you're enjoying Valheim. That's a good thing, right?
That and Power Washer.
Power Washer Simulator. That's been fun to watch.
I gotta finish up that backyard from hell.
No, yeah. You gotta give us more fast forwarded content of you.
Because it seemed like it just took forever.
Going through the. Oh yeah. Good times.
Those
Good
levels
times.
take forever.
You also have outpaced any of my Mario Maker content on YouTube with one video.
I have, haven't I?
I think literally all of my content, including that first video that like was the one that started the channel off. So I just need more clickbaity titles, apparently.
Well, I mean, the title's not clickbaity; it's accurate.
You're the one who said, well, no. I know. But you're the one who said it was specifically designed to sound like, what's his name?
Did I rip off Ludwig? Did I yank and twist Ludwig? Yes. Will I do it again? Absolutely.
Yeah, no. What's your, so it's the, my thing says 55 views for your Mario Maker content.
Yeah, 55, 5, and 2. It's been a nice week of content. My most recent one was 36. No, my top one, my original one, which has gained a few views recently, I think from people who've come over from the stream, has 59 views. Been a nice week of content for Spectacles Gaming Television.
I need to start just recording lots of Mario content because I think that's where I could build my YouTube channel, just like how that's where I've built my Twitch channel. I think they could feed each other. And I also need to actually like flesh out my Discord because I have one, but I just need to flesh it out because.
Yeah, your most popular video is Escape from Swamp, which is 59 views.
Well, yeah, you're talking about my most popular non-Rocket League April Fool's video.
Well, I outpaced that too with another video.
Yes. You had already outpaced all my videos before this one, but yes, this one is definitely.
Yeah, I think. Let me see. My most popular video is.
Do I need to do what I did with
JD Martin
be like, teach me your ways?
It's
Specs.
JD Martinez Rakes video from a couple of years ago, but the MLB The Show 23 no sell issue. It's gonna pick it up speed there.
I think the algorithm likes your channel as the part of the thing.
Maybe.
I think the increased amount of content.
That's probably got a lot to do with it.
The views. Well, what's happening for you, and it's good. It's because of your hard work. I'm not like. Hopefully, this doesn't sound like jealousy or anything, but I think it has two things. Is you've created a couple of videos like that one MLB video, MLB The Show video. That have had like that are topical, that are recent and aware, so people are watching it, just like my Rocket League video. And so between that and the fact that you're uploading regularly, YouTube tends to like that, and so they're starting to, people search Mario Maker and they're like, and YouTube's like, oh hey, here's one of our good content creators. We'll put him up in there, sort of thing. So
yeah. Maybe. Well, it's the more topical.
Maybe I need to start when I do viewer levels, just be like, just like break the record on all the levels that I do, and then just be like, I set world records on all the viewer levels.
I set
world record, world record, world record.
I set I set and broke multiple world records.
But no, that's fine. My focus has been more on Twitch, and I really do need to show the YouTube side some love. I was showing it more love at the beginning of my Twitch time because I was doubling up for the Hogwarts Legacy content. I was doubling up between Twitch and YouTube because I wanted to really push it. And so for a while there, I was like super active, and then I dropped because Twitch became easier for me to do.
Yeah, it happens.
But oh yeah, your YouTube content's going good. You're starting to actually get more regular on Twitch too. So
regular.
Or we're gonna get like Spects, the mega famous streaming, YouTubing, gamer of all time.
Yeah, coming soon.
Whatever that means.
Coming to a channel near you. So speaking of topical, I guess I should explain why a video of mine popped off with 400 views in 3 days.
I guess we say popped off, but like for us, like in terms of like the content we've created, 400 is popping off.
Well, I think I was one of the few creators that actually touched on it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone necessarily else did, or if somebody did, like I see a couple other guys, like one other guy did, but I think his maybe I guess somebody else did. It looks like some people are, but it's a lot of like people similar like my boat where it's just like it's annoyances. But so let me explain this. I know a lot of people the 5 people who do watch this probably don't play. So only the show had. So the base issue here is this. Only the show has a competitive mode and then a separate mode that's battle royale where you have to go 12-0 to get exclusive rewards for it. And if you go 12-0, you get a certain pack that has a choice of 3 99s in it. And because this is insanely hard to do, it's ridiculously hard to do to go 12-0 in any session or 12-1. It's ridiculously difficult. So to help kind of prevent this artificial scarcity and like backlog of buy orders for cards, they introduced a couple years ago a program for it where they added more cards to it along the way. And if you hit a certain threshold, you got one of the cards for free just for kind of like trying, just whether you're going 6-0, 4-0, whatever. As long as you kept trying, you were eventually going to get the card. And this card you could ultimately sell on the marketplace or try it. If you didn't like it, sell it, try out a new one, what have you. All of a sudden, flash forward to 23 and everything's different. There's 99s. They're doing seasons now. So every season's condensed to about 2 months. And it's a lot shorter now. What ultimately happened, I think, with season 1, card prices didn't really hit that high for BR season 1. Cards they picked were bad. They weren't any household names. They were a Bob Feller, Eddie Matthews, and Greg Vaughn. Not really names that are going to set the world on fire. So a lot of people either A, weren't doing it, or B, got it and were just sort of like, I'm going to sell it. Not a whole lot, not a reason to keep it. Season 2 comes in, all the card, they haven't changed it to a no-sell pack. The cards still remain the same. On the cards changed for Ken Griffey, Jorge Posada, and I forget who the pitcher was offhand. But on the other side, their competitive mode, that one, 3 rewards were Gunnar Henderson, Lou Gehrig, and Eric Gagne. that became no sell, but that kind of made sense. It sort of was weirdly easy, so I think the adjustments are going on for that. But in terms of the other program, BR, it's a very dumb choice. Now, I'm gonna explain both sides of this argument, but ultimately it's a bad choice, and here's why it's a bad choice. You're taking away the player who can't play all the time, and you're taking away their choice. You're basically saying you can't do anything with this card. You're just gonna lock it in because we pity system you into getting it. Now, when I say pity system, is I always take these games, whether it's Madden, 2K, MLB, NHL, they're gotcha games. Their entire method is for you to spend your stubs, pull packs, and keep pulling packs until you get the card you want, or spend real money to get stubs to buy the card. That's what they want you to do. When it comes to pity systems that are in these games, generally it's to get one copy. Now, in gotcha games, you generally need multiple copies, so one copy doesn't really hurt them. For them with the show, it kind of does. Because if you're getting one card and you're getting that card and getting 150k stubs, 200k stubs for one card, you're just kind of, it's an endless system. Which is them trying to condense down. On the flip side, that is exactly how good players, top 1%, make all their stubs, is they'll just play BR and flip these $150,000 stub cards every time they can. And people can do it on Twitter. They do it on Twitch. There's plenty of guys who are like 25-0 already, 25 flawless runs already. So this decision is very, very stupid because all it's doing is punishing everyone else and still leaving the top echelon of players who were hilariously complaining about us to begin with and got hit with a lot of flack on Twitter and Reddit, who I think deserve it for standing up to it. And also, too, on the back end, every content creator who has a deal with SDS all of a sudden ran to the DMs to talk to themselves because none of them have the balls or stones to tell SDS that what they did was stupid. And for that is a very dumb choice for any of you idiots who end up stumbling upon this. Shame on you for not wanting to ruin your connection with them over something that didn't need to be done only to benefit a very select few. I get it. You don't want to ruin your connections with them, but at some point you can't just be sitting back and saying, well, let it play out. No, because the minute you let it play out, it turns into Madden. And despite everyone saying, well, it's not Madden because Madden was pack focused, this is step one, is taking away things that are free to play, regardless of it being pity or something else, making it more grind to 99 is no longer a thing now. With this first step, you're entering an era where it's going to be a lot more pay to win. And hilariously, looking back on it, I'm going to wrap this up here in a sec, is until today, the highest card they gave away for free was the 97. And all the 99s are now stuck behind 50k packs. I don't even guarantee you a 99, or you have to do a lot of grinding and competitive play. If this is where we're headed, you're going to see a very weird, interesting sort of turnabout here. And it's not one that's going to be helpful to anyone other than really good players. So your player base, if you're doing this already, you're going to have a very pissed off player base going into 24 who might not even pick up your game. I'm done.
Okay. By the way, while you were ranting, Moniac hit a triple to drive home. Why am I forgetting his name? Neto.
I'm really glad Jimmy Herget's going to get the win.
Jimmy Glitch, isn't that what we call him?
I'm really glad he's getting the win and not Zach and not Reed Detmers, who earned it.
Oh, and then Moniac ran straight home on a ball hit straight to third. So,
Fire.
But I mean, that's kind of a no. It's kind of a no winners thing. Anyways, sorry. I got distracted by the Angels game, but they're tied. So, anywho, so
no comments, questions.
No. I was trying to collect my thoughts. Yeah, no. It's definitely. I think it's the problem with a lot of video games nowadays. It's just too bad that so many game developers are going the EA route of play to win. Mostly because EA gets away with it. and
EA
we as
doesn't.
gamers let them get away with it.
I don't think EA.
No, they receive bad press for it. Don't get me wrong.
I don't think they just care enough.
People still buy Madden.
Yeah, but how many people play
buy NBA 2K?
2K's not EA.
Isn't it? I thought it was.
No.
I thought they were
NBA 2K is 2K. NBA Live was EA.
Oh, you're right.
2K is 2K. Give it time. I hope it's just an overreaction and that the backlash they got ultimately changes their mind. It won't. I know it won't.
No, it won't. That's what I'm saying is I think too much of the gaming industry has gone the EA route, has gone the 2K route, which I know they're two separate, but they're doing things in lockstep.
Well, they're gonna come back and say they have to.
Yeah, I mean they gotta make some money to recoup costs and blah 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 blah. If you want good games, we have to make money.
It's a lose-lose situation.
Competitive blah blah blah, then we have to make money.
And it doesn't help that there's no other competition, which is another issue.
Exactly. I mean, 2K needs to make a baseball game again.
Yeah, they need some sort of competition and some sort of
because what's their name is not
fantasy.
No.
Out of the out of the park.
At bat.
Out of the park. Oh, at bat. I mean, there's mobile apps like at 9-inning at bat. Yeah, but that's not. That's just a mobile game.
I thought there was like
there was an arcade one. I forget RBI baseball, but it was terrible. RBI baseball was awful.
Are they still making games RBI baseball?
No, it was that bad.
That's what I was thinking of.
If you can,
I miss 2K. 2K made great games. I mean, to be fair, I think since MLB 2K has died, it a lot of what they were doing was picked up by the show.
I don't know.
But then again, there's only so many ways you can do a sports game, like so many modes.
Yeah, well, at this point now, most people just want to do like the fantasy aspect, where it's like, give me the, past players and future and present guys.
And yet you've been trying to get me to download the show.
If you don't now because of it, I wouldn't blame you. Honestly.
I'm not. It's not that. It's just more like I've got other games that I'm playing both for streaming and for not streaming. So it's like I got so many things on my list of what I need to.
I get it. It's just unfortunate. That's all.
Oh yeah. So, but no. But yeah, no. Other than that, your video popped off on that, and you've got a lot of consistent YouTube content coming out, and you feeling pretty good about all that?
Yeah, I think so. I wish it funneled down a little bit more, but
I think it's fun to watch you enjoy when you're enjoying your content. That's when you're like really in your wheelhouse. When you're just putting out content because you feel like you need to, that's when I can tell you're a little less like enthused.
Yeah.
I think that's how everybody is, but
Yeah, I agree. All right, disappointment number 1 or disappointment number 2?
Well, what's not disappointing is the Angels just took the lead.
Fantastic.
5-4. But I mean, we both very well know that the Twins might just continue to pile it on the Angels. Anyways, disappointment number 2.
So the Lakers.
Let's do Lakers last because there's more to dissect there. With the, I'm guessing disappointment number 1 is the Angels.
Angels suck. Fire Phil Nevin. There you go.
I mean, to be fair, they are like hovering right around.
I'm gonna smack you.
Which
no.
is better than last year.
No, I am done being to be fair to Phil Nevin. Name one good thing Phil Nevin. Name one good thing Phil Nevin has done. Name one good thing Phil Nevin has done. I dare you. I dare you.
Didn't I have a joke before the podcast?
Yeah, you did. I dare you. I dare you. Name one good thing Phil Nevin has done. Do it.
He
What was that? What?
He's been very good to players. They all seem to like him.
Wherever that rumor started, I don't know, and I don't believe it. I legitimately don't believe it.
I don't know.
I don't believe it. Because I heard that dude, I'm like, based on what? Is he different? Like, because when he's out there, like, managing, he looks bored.
I forgot what the joke I was even going to say was.
You were going to defend him, and I was like, and I said I would ban you.
Oh, man. No, I
want you to, wait, where is it? Hold on. Wait.
I can't defend Phil Nevin. I won't go as far as you. I won't say he's a bad manager.
He is a bad manager.
I'll just say he's an average manager.
I have notes. I have numbers. I have numbers. Where do you want me to begin?
Warning, Specs rant incoming.
Where do you want me to start?
From the top.
From the top. All right. Okay. So, in 2022, when he took over, the Angels went 46-60. Okay. As of right now, the Angels are 23-22.
Hey, they're above 500. Keep this up for the rest of the season. Make a last second run, and
congratulations.
And then he'll be around forever.
More numbers that are interesting. As of my notes, last year he was ejected 4 times, and I think this number hasn't changed. He's only been ejected once this year.
He's a defender of the players.
He was ejected 4 times in 106 games.
He defends the players. That's
no, he
why
doesn't.
They like him.
He was ejected once every 25 games.
He's a defender.
It hasn't been. He's been ejected once in what, 45?
Oh boy. I'm just being a.
I know. Even more. Here we go. Even more. Where was it? I had more stats where it was like his aggressive. So this one's. I found this one rather interesting. If you look up on Baseball Reference, you can look up how often managers called for like aggressiveness on the base paths, like steals and stuff. Joe Madden was about a 25% clip. Phil Nevin's closer, like 5 or something. Like the number there is is ridiculously low.
I do agree that it's a really bad, especially this year with the pitch clock.
Yeah, Phil Nevin
really making adjustments to it. It should be closer to like.
Yeah,
30%.
He's not. That's another one. Tonight's a prime example. Odd times to make picking changes. He shouldn't have pulled Reed Detmers around the 100 pitch mark. That was a stupid move. Turgid blew it. He's done this all the time. He'll constantly say one thing and then immediately like not act upon it in the game. He's done that multiple times. So the aggressive style seems like every time it just seems like the team itself has been playing very passively. They're not attacking balls. You see it constantly defensively. They are the worst team in the league defensively. That needs to be addressed, and a lot of that I blame him for. I just flat out, that's on him, because they're playing so incredibly passive. They're not attacking balls. They're not doing anything, and it's like horrendous. Another thing, we've had multiple instances of pitchers tipping pitches and not his coaching staff not noticing it. It's been players, whether it be Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, and the funniest one I think by far was everyone was saying Jose Suarez was tipping pitches. Him and his staff flat out said no, that was not the case, and basically said he just sucks, which is by far the funniest goddamn thing I've heard ever is when you actually actively have an excuse that everyone's assuming, you're the one who says, no, he just sucks. Last year, Redetmer Slider, I think that was actually probably more of just someone saw something different, but that was that instance that he had to be sent down, and Carlisle had to fix it in a just plain catch with the grip. Could have done that here. And also, I've said this prior, it goes back to play on the heels, the lack of players just looking like they don't care or have drive. He's failed last year. He's failed this year. They're underperforming, and there's way too much to lose with this stupid little butthurt little wannabe Aaron Boone. Fire him.
I don't disagree with your conclusion. I will say I could give him until Walsh and Rendon come back off the IL. And they both seem to be fairly close to that because
Walsh could be back
we have not yet
Saturday.
had this team at full strength. Yeah, no, but we haven't been back at full strength. Rendon, I think, is even getting pretty close to making his return. So
I don't think that necessarily matters, because if your entire argument is, oh, they're not at full strength, okay, cool, they're not at full strength, but neither is like the Dodgers, neither is like a lot of teams, and they're not having
but
they're not having the same issues.
You're comparing the Dodgers, who have a crap ton more depth.
It's not even a matter of depth, it's a matter of performance.
Yeah, I mean it is, but I mean, like, also, like, you're saying, well, the Dodgers aren't at full strength. But the Dodgers with fill-in players are better than the Angels with all their players playing at their best level.
My point being is that at some point it doesn't necessarily, everyone's going to be hurt. Not everyone's going to have their full-fledged roster out there. It's a matter of, okay, who do we have available?
I don't disagree. I said I agreed with your conclusion.
But you're trying to say the depth's better. The depth doesn't matter as long if you have Trout. Here's the problem that we've had for the last few years. If Trout and Ohtani are healthy, how much more do you need? Yeah, they need help, but they don't need quality. They don't need another 30 home run guy. That's been the argument the entire time. Is, oh, we need Trout, Rendon. We need Trout, Ohtani, and Rendon healthy. We haven't had that. This year, we have other guys who can fill those voids. So what's the problem here?
I don't disagree, but like, the players they have filling those voids are different players in terms of team chemistry, are different players in terms of approach to the plate.
Compared to who?
Well, I mean, here's the big thing for me is Walsh.
I get that.
Much for me this season.
No, I understand that if you want to say, like, hey, wait for Walsh.
Walsh is like a big piece of glue in terms of team chemistry.
Yeah, at first base. Yeah, I agree.
I think the team will definitely play a bit more together when he comes back.
No, I get that. But
so all I'm saying before you cut me off and try to needle into my point that it's only like halfway formed. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying don't fire don't fire Nevin until this happens. I'm just saying I'm not completely sold on this being the team that we're going to get this season, even if Nevin is allowed to stay in the manager's chair.
Based on what?
Based on the fact that they haven't had the full team yet.
You've had the team at 98%.
And based on the fact that we haven't gone through like a Trout hot streak, Ohtani hot streak. We've had them like occasionally doing some good stuff, but like neither of them has really gotten hot. I'm just saying I'm not completely sold on this just being a 500 team, even with Nevin in the manager's chair.
Let me ask you a question. When you look at Trout, would you say his year? I know the numbers. Do you think Trout's been playing well this year? Trout and Ohtani, would you say they've been playing at their level? I'm just saying, based on the eye test, strictly what you've seen in like the 50 or so games.
No, Trout has not been playing as well as he could.
Okay,
he's still a good player. what he's been doing.
Okay.
Otani's been decent enough at the plate, but his past several pitching outings have not been great.
So I want to tell you something hilarious. And if you, I'm not shelling myself when I say this. When it comes to Trout this year, I don't get it. I flat out don't. So, for whatever reason, he can't hit with runners on when it's not a clutch situation, and it makes no sense whatsoever. None at all. And that's all I've been seeing. It's like, oh, Trout can't hit in the clutch. And it's like, no, he actually can hit in the clutch. It's just every other point outside the clutch when there's somebody in scoring position he can't hit, and it makes no sense.
I think the weird thing for me with Trout has been there's been a lot of pitches. I mean, maybe this has always been an issue and I just was ignoring it because he could do other things really well. But like, if a pitcher has 2 strikes on Trout, where do they need to pitch it to strike him out?
Where they pitch it to strike it out? Up in the zone.
Up in the zone, right down the middle even. Trout's not hitting fastballs right down Broadway.
I've wondered this, and I don't know. I've had this talk with Tim a lot where I have a weird hunch, but I don't have the numbers anywhere, and I don't know where to look to find it when it comes to how they pitch him. But I have a funny suspicion that, because other hitters have sort of done this too, where it's almost like they kind of forego the fastball a little bit and want to hit a slider. And I don't necessarily know if that's how the sequencing has gone against him, but I found it interesting, and it sort of goes back to the Otani the Otani when it was Otani versus Trout. When it came to when it look at that sequencing, it was a lot of hard fastballs and mainly sliders, and the pitch that got him was a slider. So I'm wondering if they're just sort of like, they're not going to throw the fastball, because the whole thing is with the fastball is eventually he'll time it. He's going to time it, but the question is a matter of, is he looking for like sliders, and because he's looking for a break on it, he's not pulling the trigger on it because it's straight, or what?
All I know is it seems like he's just striking out on a lot of right in the zone fastballs that he should be just at least smacking for doubles.
I wonder, and that goes back to what I was saying. I wonder if it's just a weird optical illusion.
I'm also just curious if all Trout really needs to do is, like, I think Trout has gotten to this point in his career where he realizes he has a good power. Like, he has a good bat for power. But like, it seems like what it used to be, at least this is what I remember with Trout back in like 2014, 2015, back like towards the beginning of his career, a lot of the home runs he was hitting weren't big arching home runs. They were missiles.
He might be doing more launching, like more of a launching.
And I'm wondering if he's doing a lot, like he's coming up at the ball too much more now, and if he needs to shorten his swing up a little bit. Because
here's the funny thing is, if you're like just looking at his numbers at a glance, he's still hitting 280 on base 370. His slugging's down a little bit. At this point it's 524. Last year it was 630, but we're only at 42 games. The only comp I would say is 2020, when it was where he in 53 games he was at 17 home runs and 46 RBIs, slugging 603. At 42 games according to Baseball Reference, he's hovering around average is about the same, but on base and slugging are way down, and on base with slugging is also way down. I don't know what's going on or anything, but like I said, sort of comparing it to like the COVID shortened year, in with what 11 or 9, yeah, 11 games to go. He's off that pace, which I know doesn't mean a whole lot, but he's off that pace by 7 home runs, almost, 20-ish RBI, 23 RBI, a good amount of walks. Strikeouts are about the same. But I mean, he's still good. It's just I don't know. I can't tell you. It's weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's part of what I was saying is like I think once Shohei and Trout settle in a bit better, I know we're month and a half into the season already, so I shouldn't be waiting too long. But the fact is what I've been saying is they're 500 and they've got some of their top guys not performing to their elite status, and to an elite ability that I think they still have. I agree. Again, I agree with your conclusion. Let's fire Phil Nevin. Let's get somebody hired let's get somebody hired. And then the point I've been making in weeks past, let's get somebody hired that's Perry's guy. That is somebody who I don't know if it necessarily needs to be like the Scott Service to Jerry DiPoto type thing where
it probably will
Scott
be.
Scott Service is literally the like the puppet of Jerry DiPoto.
It might be,
but and I mean maybe that's what the Angels need, because I think really like if there's anybody I trust in this organization, it's Perry Manassian, however you say it, whatever. But if there's anybody I trust in this organization, it's him. He's got a good baseball mind. He's been able to build a good team while being hamstrung. Like
I said, we'll see.
But anyways, but like I said, the silver lining in all of this is they're a 500 team.
You're way more positive than I am.
That's just who I am. I think it's because I'm more pragmatic than you are. You tend to be more pessimistic. I tend to be more pragmatic.
I try to just look.
A lot of people have tried to say I'm an optimist, but like if you've listened to me in weeks past, like I complain all crap sorts of things about the Angels. I am more than willing to pile on Phil Nevin, on Artie Moreno, and how he should sell the team. Like we know this. It's not that I'm an optimist. I'm just a pragmatist.
I think I think my whole thing is I try to look for answers like in the numbers, and the numbers say one thing and my eyes say another thing. So it's sort of like which one's true and which one's not true. And that's kind of I think the bigger problem is like, well, which is true? Is it the numbers or is it my eyes? Both can't be right,
Yeah, I get you.
Like argumentatively, it's got it. You'd think it's the math doesn't lie, but
yeah, I don't know. It's I'm partially keeping hope just because that's the only way I'm going to make it through the season. So
I don't know. If I'm wrong, I'm okay with it because it means the Angels are doing well. But it's just one of those bits where I'm like, I've seen this song and dance before, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah, but this is different than the past few seasons. It's just it feels like it's headed in the same direction, anyways.
It feels like it's headed in the same direction, and it seems like we're gonna lose a lot more because of it.
Yeah, I don't
know. Because of like indifference on people's parts.
Sure.
Where it's like, which is a problem because how you bang the drum for however many years and nothing gets done.
Ultimately, when we approach the trade deadline, if the Angels are still kind of playing this song and dance and still hovering,
I assume they will.
That area. I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying, assuming that. Obviously, you're assuming they will. I'm just saying, assuming that. Do you trade Ohtani? If you're Perry, and you can get the approval from.
What are you gonna
party.
get? See, this is what I've been pondering the entire time.
Look at what the Mariners gave up to get what's his butt last year.
Yeah, but he still has years of control. What are you gonna do?
No. Sorry, I was thinking Padres, Juan Soto.
Years, but he still had years of contrul. Otani's a rental.
There was somebody that got traded last year that was like
not as a rental. Not as a rental.
I mean,
Juan Soto was a blockbuster, but Juan Soto had like 2.5 years of control.
I more than believe you could still get a good price.
Yeah, okay, but let's play this out. At this point, let's
yes, it's not going to be the price that you would have gotten.
No. But here's my point. This is my question. Is let's say the Yankees say, "Hey, we want Ohtani." Well, let's say we're 10 games under 500, and the Yankees say, "Hey, we want Ohtani," and they're only willing to get. So, like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? What do you think's fair for an August and a September of Ohtani? Guaranteed 2 months. What are you as Brian Cashman giving up? Because this is ultimately why my answer is the way it is. What are you giving up? What's your offer?
What's my offer?
What's your offer?
Ohtani?
What's your offer for Ohtani?
What is? Am I coming from the Angels' perspective?
No, you're Brian. You're the Angels. You're the Yankees GM, and you want Ohtani. What are you offering for the trade deadline? I want to say is August 1st, so 2 months, 60 days ish of Ohtani. What are you offering? What do you think's fair for Ohtani? You don't have to name names. Just be like, just give me like what. In terms of like their top 30 prospects, what you think is fair. And mind you, just give me what you think's fair from major league roster to prospects. What do you think's fair? You don't need to name names. You can literally just be like you can say.
I mean, it partially depends on where you're at as the Yankees. If this is what you think could push you over,
they think they're calling Brian Cashman.
This could push me into a World Series.
You think this is a world?
The next few years.
No. This is you saying we're confident we're going to win the World Series not only this year, but we're confident we're going to re-sign him. That's how confident you are. What are you giving up?
If I believe that it's a difference between a surefire World Series.
I want to make this point too. I'm just making this point because I did a bad job of saying this. Mind you, if you win the World Series, if you as the Yankees GM win the World Series doing this, it doesn't matter because you won a World Series. You could literally trade away the whole goddamn team, but you won a World Series. I just want to throw that out there.
If I, as Cashman, believe that this is the difference between
27, title 27,
a surefire World Series
and
maybe a World Series based on the current roster, but like it doesn't seem like the Yankees are currently headed in that direction.
You think Aaron Judge you think Shohei Ohtani hitting behind Aaron Judge propels you to a World Series win? What do you give up?
Maybe a couple of prospects and
a
trade kicker.
Okay, are these top prospects?
No, I wouldn't trade anybody in my top 10.
I'm hanging up the phone. That's why. I'm hanging up the phone. If you call me and say, "Hey, I'm giving you 2 mid-level prospects," and
I'd either give you 2 mid-levels or 1 high-end prospect.
That's not enough.
You're hanging up or Perry's hanging up?
Perry's hanging up.
At this point, if you're Perry's
hanging up.
Like, look, we're not going anywhere.
No, Perry's hanging up. What? Why? Because here's the thing. This is the problem, and this is why I think they're not going to trade him. And it's not coward. Is it cowardice? Yeah, it's partially cowardice. But the problem is, you can't quantify what he is worth. There's no way in hell to quantify it, because if the Yankees called him, if I'm Perry, I want Anthony Volbeat, I want Anthony Volbeat, I want Perez, I want their 2 top prospects. I'm taking everything I can from them, because he's worth it. That's the bar. And it's like, are you going to get it? No, absolutely not. But that's what he should be worth. And if they trade him off for what you said, like, oh, one high-end prospect, that's not enough. Because at this point, you're giving away... Because at this point, you're better off taking the draft pick. You're better off getting the draft pick compensation.
I guess I see where you're coming from on that, but
because why am I taking a kick tire on something the Yankees clearly don't value, when I can just scout and get a guy I see with my scouts that I trust over what this guy says? That's the problem.
Yeah.
How many mystery boxes do you want?
No, but here's the thing. I don't think that's 100% how it's going to go. There's going to be a market for Ohtani.
I would be shocked if the deal gets done for Ohtani. There's no way, because there's no price that any of those teams are going to play.
You're not thinking of a card that the Angels will hold in this, which is the Angels. I am more than positive if by this point the Angels have probably had extension talks galore with Ohtani. And I would just ask, once we get to that point where Ohtani's like, okay, I gotta close these conversations, I'm gonna go, look, Ohtani,
I'll still take the draft pick.
Do you wanna stay with us beyond this year?
I still take the draft pick.
I don't see why.
Because the whole point is it's like the NBA lottery at this point. Why no other?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I don't see why you don't just then put them up for auction.
Because you're not going to get the value. You're not gonna.
Yeah, but is one first round draft pick really worth Ohtani? That's the other question you're asking.
Is 2 mid-level prospects worth Ohtani?
But what you're comparing is like, okay, but what I'm talking about is I'm talking about what I'm saying is,
you're saying you want 2 mystery boxes. You want more than one mystery box.
No.
You want more mystery boxes.
What I'm saying is like, give me 2 or 3 prospects that the Yankees believe in, and that
they're not going to give you what they believe in. It doesn't matter. That's the problem.
I'm saying is I don't know that that's true.
But the whole thing is,
but
you're missing the point.
The Angels could go to the Yankees and say, look, yeah, you're offering me, your number 11 and number 15 prospects on your chart, but the Rays over here offered me the number 8 and 6.
Yeah, that doesn't. My point is, it's like the NBA.
But what I'm saying is that I think you're ignoring.
I'm not ignoring it. My point is,
you're saying take 1 first round draft pick that, based on how the Angels are playing, based on how they'll play in the next couple of years, is probably going to wind up more in like.
I'm going to ask you
another guy who's in the same realm.
Wait. Hold on.
They could get from other teams.
Hold on.
Where they could get more than one.
Hold on. Let me ask you this question. When it comes to just acquiring assets, okay, in any sport, what's the better way to acquire assets? Assets that you yourself as an organization have assigned value to, or you take the word of what another organization has placed value on, and that you hope that the scouts who have been there for a week or two can evaluate that fast, versus what every other sport does, which is when they acquire assets, all they're doing is they're taking the assets in the form of draft compensation, because that window to scout is way bigger than you have months.
Look, I just think the Angels could get more value than a first round draft pick.
But the problem is, at the end of the day, it whether it's the draft, a trade, it's all mystery boxes. And I guess realistically, if you're having the thing of, well,
yes, it's all worse than Ohtani.
I know,
but if you know Ohtani's leaving in the offseason, then why not trade him for some value?
Yeah, but again, it's coming down to 3 mystery boxes to 1 mystery box. And what are the odds that one of the 3 hit?
You're forgetting that also in that I was including at least one player of value as like a trade kicker, because you can't.
I'm hesitant to say that would work. I don't see it. I don't see it, because they should have done it last year and they didn't.
I think there's look.
Artie's too much of a coward.
Look is the now. Yeah, that's the real, like. If you're the Angels, and what my proposal was if you're Perry and you have approval from Artie, you're not going to get it. But the assumption was, if you could get approval from Artie to make a trade, to say, hey, I'm going to take him out on the open market and get the best freaking deal possible, I think you could easily create a market where you're saying, hey, Yankees, Rays over here offering this. Hey, Yankees, Padres over here offering this. Hey, Yankees, Mariners up there offering this. Like,
I mean, it's possible. I just, it's so hard to quantify. This is, I think, the MLB's biggest problem is, unlike the NBA, especially the NBA, is it's so incredibly difficult to quantify asset acquire. Like, it's hard to just acquire assets because there's no way to actually do it. Because you could acquire all the assets in the world and all of them are going to fall flat in their face. In the NBA, you acquire a team, you acquire 6 first round draft picks. You'll hit at least on 1 or 2, unless you're the 76ers. But I mean, for the most part, you're going to hit gold somewhere. The MLB, you're not going to necessarily hit it. And that's the problem.
Here is what I do think will happen. If Moniak continues to increase his value, he's going to get offloaded for somebody.
That's the only thing I can hope for, is that
he's going to get offloaded for somebody, and maybe another player, him and another player might get you some like immediate like rental even with value, and then you could maybe plug that guy in as a pitcher.
I hope they end up sort of being buyers, or it's like they can offload.
Yeah, it's gonna have to happen, because, like you said,
or it's
Artie doesn't want to trade.
Or it's like you can offload, like get Suarez right enough to like offload Suarez and like somebody else, because it's like you need to fix this, and it's like you're muddling. I guess hypothetically, if it's like we're muddling 500 and we're trash.
What would be really wild is if we got what Trout gave us again with Shohei, where we talk about this like he's going. And then just shortly before the contract extension deadline, he's like,
well, there's no extension deadline. They can kind of sign it whenever.
I wasn't sure with baseball. I know basketball
there is. I don't think there is one. So. There's no deadline.
So, but like, you approach like a certain point in the season and Shohei's just like, I want to be an Angel for life.
He might.
Like
it comes.
And I mean, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying we keep discussing this, but like we had the same discussions with Trout when Trout came up for his contract. I mean, I think in some ways Trout maybe should have left. I was glad he didn't. I was very grateful he didn't. I love Trout for that, but and I hate that Artie has continued to own the team and waste away Trout's years. And I even have a coworker who's come up to me, who's come up to me multiple times and said, "I hate that you guys are wasting Renfroe."
That's a good one,
because he loves Renfroe.
You want to know what's funny? And I don't know if you caught this. You don't get to see like the the pre and post games, do you? Because you have.
I could if I watched it on the app. Well, the pregame, not. I think the post game cuts off after a certain point, but
so. You notice how they moved it from in front of underneath the hats to on the field?
Yeah, because everybody hates.
No, you know what happened when you know what fans were chanting during one of those.
Sell the team.
Yep, and magically after that homestand back, they were no longer under the hats. They've been on the field ever since.
There's just so much. I've mentioned it before. There's so much wrong with what Artie's doing. The fact that our radio guys are still
there, yeah,
commenting road games from Angels Stadium is ridiculous. There's no COVID reason for it.
It's just laziness.
It's just wanting to save a quick buck.
Yep,
and it's stupid.
All right,
it shows how bad Artie is at running this team.
Let's let you rant. All right, let's talk the Lakers. They're down 0-2. I know you've got some thoughts. I'm just gonna put my feet up for this one. Go
LeBron
for it.
James has been very frustrating the past couple of games. There are multiple things I get tired of with him. Him continuing to jack it. Like, look, what happens with LeBron is he continues to
quits.
The Lakers will get close, and instead of taking a high percentage layup or even passing the ball off to Reeves, who he knows can shoot better than he can, or even D'Angelo Russell, who even when he's cold can at least get hot. LeBron is not gonna get hot. He's missing easy layups. He's missing all his threes. Him and Anthony Davis are the reason we are a few plays from being up 2-0 rather than down 2-0.
Do I have to say something?
No. I mean, if you want to, you can.
I got my one comment is I think CJ, if you see this, and I hope you see this one bit, Mike Malone's comments after game 2 were the biggest crock I've ever heard in my entire life. What national broadcast is he listening to? I did not hear anyone give the Lakers credit for any of what they did in the second half. It was all Jokic talk. What the hell is he talking about? Was Fox being like, the Lakers could come back? Because ESPN was like, Jokic is an animal. What is he talking about?
Yeah, no. I think they heard, I think Nick Wright or one of those guys.
Oh, Nick Wright. Yeah, but the whole thing is with Nick Wright. This is the funny.
Athletic did make the point of like, the Lakers did kind of.
But that was a point. But that's a fair point. Is that they did?
No. Nobody. What I heard nobody say was the Lakers are easily going to win game 2. Look at how the Nuggets played the second half.
But
what they said was game 2 is definitely going to be a lot closer because the Lakers were able to show up in the second half.
But Nick Wright.
And guess what?
It was
almost exactly correct. Taking out a Jamal Murray, which that's not going to happen every game. Taking out a Jamal Murray getting hotter than boiling hot lava.
That can't sustain, right? Is it? Is it a worry?
That's not going to happen every fourth quarter.
No,
it's not. It's just not. And Jokic is not gonna push you through that. The only thing that got the Nuggets to the win was Jamal Murray getting super hot, which give him credit. He was going to. Him and Brown got hot, which they're gonna get hot, but they're not gonna stay hot. They're not Steph Curry.
No.
So I honestly believe at the very least the Lakers win the next 2 games. Obviously by the time this is posted, we'll know what Saturday
game 4,
was like.
Yeah.
We could already be down 3-0 by the time this is posted.
Can I
be very wrong.
This is the one thing I found interesting, and I don't know if I try to watch, I was watching it with Tim. I try not to watch games through a fan's lens to the chagrin of CJ. I don't. The Angels I get more passionate about because I know the sport. But a lot of times I try to just sort of watch and observe as much as I can. But I will say this about Jokic. The man flails around like an inflatable flailing arm guy. I don't understand. What is he doing?
That after LeBron flopped and got that call.
Yeah, Jokic started flailing
Jokic literally he barely got touched. It was like, dead.
Yeah, Jokic was flailing a lot, and I'm just, it was every time he got hit, he was flailing. I'm like, what is going on? LeBron got put. The whole thing is with Jokic, and this is even CJ's admitted this. It's Jokic sometimes forgets how big he is. LeBron might have acted a little bit on that, but Jokic almost killed a Morris brother. Yeah, he got a forearm.
Jokic at least gave him a forearm for him to take the pushback into. When
Yeah.
you watch the replay on LeBron's,
Like he's
LeBron
not throwing.
Touched him, and Jokic was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah,
and I was like, "Dude, come on."
the other thing I noticed that besides the flailing of Jokic was there's a lot. The Nuggets get away with a lot of like push off jumpers that the Lakers don't, especially Murray. He doesn't.
Oh yeah, that's. I agree.
And I mind you, we lived with Kobe. But it's almost like they're like leaning in, like it's almost like an offensive pass interference a lot of times, where it's like they try to get the separation by pushing off and no one calls it.
Yeah.
You're in a bad spot when Van Gundy's telling you is trying to defend the Lakers are getting gypped on calls.
Well, I mean, what did you think of the flagrant?
I thought it was weak. I thought
that was a horrible call.
I thought
Russell came in and he clearly on the replay you can see him clearly go in for the ball.
I think
barely gets a little bit of head, and it was like
I made the comment. I made the comment in game 1. I thought the Nuggets got away with the flagrant, and no one really brought it up.
No, yeah.
In game 1, so I don't understand it. I don't necessarily. I hate it when I agree with Draymond when he's just like soft, but I'm like, that's not a flagrant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
no, I look, the Lakers lost the first 2 games. I will not blame the refs. And I've made that clear anytime I've talked trash about the refs in the playoffs. Anytime after a game where I go, "Oh, well, the refs were pretty bad." I don't go, "The refs were pretty bad and the Lakers lost because of it." No, I go, "The refs were pretty bad, but the Lakers
still lost.
Because they lost."
Yeah, I sort of agree. I think if you're trying to articulate a point and your go-to excuse is, well, the refs blew it for us. Like, if you can't overcome a couple bad calls,
the Lakers have been losing because they've been losing.
Yeah, they've been losing because they're trying to rely on a 38-year-old LeBron James and Anthony Davis who is too inconsistent, instead of giving it up to guys who like Reeves, who can get hot at a moment's notice, and like Rui and all these other guys. You're sort of playing through your stars, but it's almost like they feel like they have to, because that's what Denver can do, play through Murray and Jokic. But it's like, if you have guys who can shoot, let them shoot. To quote, I think Eddie House was like, shooters shoot,
I honestly think the Lakers need to always have 2 shooters in. So put like Reeves and Walker, or Reeves and even like if Russell's hot, put him in. If
I mean,
what's his name hasn't even gotten that much playing time. The guy they got from the Jazz.
Monk.
Yeah.
But what's even,
so it's like there's some 3-point shooters they've got that it's like, if you let them get in there and get hot, then
despite the Lakers losing, I'll give credit where credit is due. I think Darvin, what's his name?
Darvin Ham.
I think Darvin Ham is a hell of a coach. I think he's great at making the adjustments. I think the problem is, it's like you can't defend guys who get hot, and that's been the Lakers' problem. It's like you're trying at those points, you're just trying to like weather the storm a lot of times, but it's rough to weather the storm when it's like you're trying to, like, it feels like you have to match shot for shot, where it's like, oh, hey, we can just score quick 2s, but it's like when you're not getting the benefit of, like, you're not getting the charge calls you need. You're not getting like the blocking calls you need every time like AD plays the rim. It's like goaltend, and no one wants to like look at it because God forbid the refs get a call wrong. And guys on ESPN like Steve Javi, who's an absolute loser and shouldn't be judging officiating and all this stuff, where it's just it gets old very fast.
Here's what I think the Lakers really need to do, and they would have won them at the very least game 2, maybe even a little bit of game 1. They need to stop trying to match 3 for 3, and if you see Murray heating up, like, so like at the very least, in the case of when the Lakers were ahead, Murray got hot and they started trying to match his threes. What they needed to do was just go down, get the best shot possible. It can be a 3, but get your best shot possible, which I think honestly most of the time is going to be going to the rim. Stop shooting mid-range jumpers. Stop shooting threes that you're not going to make. Try to get to the rim as much as possible. If you need to kick out every once in a while and try to get a 3 that way, then do that. But it's like, I think if you replaced a lot of those missed 3s where they're trying to match the Nuggets with 2s, they would have had an extra 10 points.
Yeah, I think
they would have been the ones with the lead at the end of the game.
I think that's a lot of times what happens. Maybe like I said, I'm no basketball expert, but it does sort of feel like I know they're not comparable, but I remember like the Suns where it almost was like if you got in a shoot, or then the Warriors where it's like if you got in a shootout of 3s, you were going to lose. Yeah. The best way to beat them is play your game.
Exactly.
And it's just like,
so that's what they need to do.
Maybe it was because it was on the road and Denver's loud. It's been loud.
Here's what I think could definitely happen, could easily happen. The Lakers rattle off 4 wins and win the series in 6.
No, they could.
Also, what I think based on what I've watched from the second half of the first game and the second game, I think that could easily happen. The Lakers could rattle off, could tighten some things, some loose ends, and could rattle off 4 wins and go to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I also think could easily happen.
They get swept.
Denver wins 2 of the next 3.
I think that's likely. I think as of right now, if things don't change, if it's going this, it's a gentleman's sweep, and it ends. What, Wednesday?
I don't see it going any less than 5. I don't see Denver sweeping, but
no, that's what I'm saying. I think it'll be a gentleman's sweep. Yeah. I guess at this point you're looking at a Nuggets Heat series because I think I said this last week. I don't see Tatum
2-0 on the Celtics.
Huh? Yeah, they're up 2-0 on the Celtics. I don't see Tatum winning a ring in Boston. I think last year proved that. LA. I don't think he's even. I don't think Tatum.
He's a Kobe guy. He likes Kobe.
If he comes to LA,
extend Kobe's legacy.
I mean, do you think Tatum Davis would win the? I don't even think Tatum Davis wins him a title to be like gets Tatum a ring. To be honest with you.
I mean, it depends who you have surrounding him.
But that because like
Tatum Davis and a re-signed Reeves or something. I don't know.
Like I said, I don't think he's going to win a title in Boston. I think it'll be 5 games there. I think right now you're looking at Nuggets Heat, and I swear to God, Denver has to win that series.
I'm not sold on that. Let's see.
Let me feels see like it
tomorrow. So it may be that by Monday, by the time this is posted, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely Nuggets Heat.
It feels like it.
By Monday rolls around, and I'm like, hey, Lakers are looking up.
I mean, I'll say that the positive side is like game 1 and game 2 could have been a hell of a lot worse. And ultimately it comes down to 1 bad half in game 1 and 1 bad 6 minutes in game 2.
Yep.
So it's ultimately like, can you overcome?
I stand by my pick. I still think Nuggets in 6.
We'll see. Like I said,
I'm honestly not sold on not the Lakers in 6. So
the only reason I said Lakers in 6 is I thought they take 1 in Denver.
And they still could. They still could take 5.
We'll see. I mean, I guess hypothetically, if we were looking at it the way it's always sort of gone, it's like it really comes down to can they take the 2 at home? If they take the 2 at home, then it's all null because then it's just like it goes back to where it was. So if they take 2, if they go back to Denver, tied at 2. Then I think I'd feel better because then it'd just be like, okay, they got at least we're going back to LA. Hopefully we'll be up 3, but I think we'll be down 3-2 in 6, but that's where I'm at. I'm not waving the towel. I think there's plenty to like, but it's just like, how many times can you fumble it before it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
You won a title because you were rested, and I guess he's reached the point where LeBron can no longer will a team to victory. It happened to Kobe.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think he thinks he can, but the thing is I think he needs to.
But I mean, we know this.
Motivate other guys to do it for him.
We know this. Like, athletes are incredibly
stubborn.
It's not even stubborn. They're like, I can't think of the right word. Like almost like disillusionist to what they are.
Sure.
Or it's like in LeBron's head, he can still lead a team, will a team to victory. I'm sure Kobe would thought the same thing, but it sure as hell seemed like Kobe towards the end sort of knew he couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, except for that last game against the Jazz.
Yeah, but maybe
just because he was like, "This is it."
I mean, maybe I shouldn't be comparing LeBron to Kobe because Kobe. Because Kobe,
this point in his career, Kobe was a lot worse than LeBron.
Kobe was a lot worse than LeBron, but I think Kobe also knew if he had to be a spot up shooter, which he kind of did, is he was still adequate.
Yeah.
Where it's like LeBron, LeBron's playing a whole nother level, but it's it's rough when you see it and they don't necessarily do, which not his fault, because in his mind he can still do it. I much rather him think he can than be like, well, I can't, because then what?
Now, here is the thing. Look, I get that LeBron, I get that many Lakers fans are going to sit here and go, oh, finals are bust kind of situation. But I really feel like, regardless of what happens for the rest of the series, the season was successful.
Yeah, no, I mean, you basically redid the roster. You redid the roster, and you were in the Final Four, and as a 7 seed, and
yeah,
I mean,
look, I haven't given up. There's a lot to take away from those first 2 games.
There's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad.
Even I honestly won't be giving up on the Lakers until Denver has won the final game.
No, that's fine.
Even if the Lakers go down 3-1, I won't have quite given up on them yet. I'll still be sitting there going, well, maybe they could rattle off a few wins.
Well, I mean, they did it. The whole thing is, didn't LeBron 3-1 the Warriors?
The Warriors. Yeah.
So I mean, he's done it before.
I don't expect it to happen.
I don't either. No, I don't either.
Will be sitting there going, okay, maybe Denver in 5, but we'll see.
I don't. No, I don't either. But it's it's dumb to be like, well, it's over. I get it when there's still stuff to see.
So, before we close this out, I wanted to share my little Twitter thing that got me way too much attention.
Yeah,
way too much attention that I was like, oh crap, I didn't want this.
What did you do?
It was a passing comment. Anyways, so so Zach Wilson's little brother, Isaac Wilson, he has chosen his final 6. His final 6 are UCLA, Arizona State, Utah, BYU, Oklahoma State, and Arizona.
Those are fascinating picks.
They are really interesting, aren't they? He's a really highly rated QB prospect. And so I responded to his tweet with, I'd recommend against Utah. They've been super disrespectful towards Zach, even a few years after he left BYU. But good luck with your selection. I'll look forward to seeing you at any of these schools, even the U.
Oh, and they took that way too seriously.
And so I got retweeted by a guy.
Oh boy.
Who said, well, damn. Guess it's all over for Utah after this death blow. Which is a funny comment. I liked it. I followed him because of that.
That's comment. A beautiful comment.
I responded with laughing emojis and said, just stating my opinion. That's what I thought. I figured that's what Twitter's for. And then another guy said, the thread has guys going back and forth with Isaac tagged, debating which fan base has been worse to Zach, how much Zach has brought up himself, etc. What a fun thing for a high school kid to have in his mentions. He took it way too seriously. And they just one other reminder how much different life is now versus the past. And I'm like, look, you're taking this a little more seriously than I meant it.
That's funny though.
And what's funny is he's talking about me and Scott, because Scott got in there and he's like, they as in their fans? He's like, BYU isn't either. He like goes on a whole bunch of stuff.
It's like how someone said, "Oh, I opened it up and someone said nerd."
Yeah, somebody called me a nerd, and I said, "Got me right, got me there, right on the nose."
It was just,
and then he said, "I know, weirdo." Like it's just like that's fun, like whatever. And then one guy said the disrespect and tweeted a picture of his visit to Utah with his mom.
That's his mom?
Yeah.
No
and
shot. No shot. That's his mom.
That is his mom. That is.
You know what? I understand mom. Zach Wilson's love of older women. I get it now.
Oh my gosh. He's got
I
that
get
dog in him.
He's got that dog in him.
I'm pretty sure it's his mom. Let me double check this.
If that's his mom, she looks young.
Yeah, no, that's his mom.
Wow. Okay.
That's Lisa Wilson.
What are they putting the water in Utah? God damn.
And so he responded, the disrespect. I said, my B should have worded it more carefully that Utah fans have been disrespectful towards Zach. I love Kyle Whittingham. He's their coach. And even a lot of Utah fans, just not lots of what I've read from them about Zach. Said, oh, well, fair enough. Just messing.
Hold on, but BYU isn't either.
Another guy said, dude, shut the heck up. Quit trying to tell recruits where they should go. This is the ultimate loser fan mentality. Get a life.
Well, I mean, whole thing is it doesn't make a difference. He can go to Utah. If he doesn't like it, he transfer portals out. He goes to BYU, transfer portals out. He goes to UCLA, he transfer portals out. He goes to Oklahoma State. He's not going to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State transfers out. Like, it doesn't matter, like, where these guys go, whether they go to wherever, wherever, it doesn't make a difference. They enter the portal. Because I'll be frank with you. If I'm Isaac, it's BYU, and you want to know why? Because who the hell knows where? Well, you know where UCLA. It's BYU or UCLA, because you have no idea where the 3 Pac-12 schools are going to be playing.
Yeah,
that's my opinion, and I have no horse in this. That's my guess. Is you go where you know you're going to play. If you want to play in the Big Ten or you want to play in an independent, like I wouldn't play in the Pac-12. And I sure as shit ain't playing in the whatever that leftover Ohio State conference is, because they ain't playing Oklahoma no more.
But it got me a lot more attention than I was.
That was hilarious. Where he's like, "All right, good luck."
It took it a lot more seriously, and I'm just like, "Look, this is just me stating my opinion on Twitter."
Because I mean, I don't think it necessarily matters. Like, yeah, ASU shouldn't be. I agree, Scott. ASU shouldn't be on the list.
He probably only has like 2 or 3 schools really, but wants to give like the process.
I disagree with Scott on this one, where he says he goes to UCLA, he'll get attacked by USC fans. We don't care. I'd even like you'd be like, all right. See, the whole thing is with like UCLA, especially with like quarterbacks, is like if they pick one over the other, it's just like, all right, you picked wrong, good, go for it, whatever. Like that's all it is. At this point, it's like you want to go to UCLA when we got Lincoln Riley, all right?
Yeah, my guess is it really comes down to BYU, Utah, and UCLA.
Yeah, and it's a matter of where does he want to go where his brother went, and his it's. And like I said, it doesn't matter.
Based on what we've heard, it seems like my guess is it's either BYU or Utah, just because
he wants to stay.
Zach said his advice to him was, don't think about going to don't necessarily just go to the best school available.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the school where you think you can make the biggest noise.
Impact. Well, I mean, like I said, but in this day and age, it doesn't even matter, because he can literally go there 1 year, not like it, and transfer to wherever he wants to go. Sure. So it doesn't. Sure. I think that's something that's getting underplayed in this situation.
The whole funny thing was everybody just like coming at me like I was being like,
yeah, welcome to you,
overly serious.
Welcome to Utah fans. They can't take a joke.
Yeah, well, I've already known that for a long time.
Yeah, I know you deal with it more
love
than I do.
Utah. I actually like
You
outside when they
traitor.
play BYU.
Traitor. Yeah, I know you loved it when they beat
BYU.
You loved it when they beat USC twice. I get it.
I did.
God, I hate them.
But,
I hate them, and
well,
I hate Kincaid. I hate Kincaid more than anything. I hate that he went to Buffalo. I don't have to play him anymore, but Buffalo doesn't need that goddamn Frankenstein monster running slant routes. I don't want to see it. It angers me.
He's gonna be, he's gonna be, in 5 years you're gonna be drafting him in fantasy, right?
I'm gonna draft him this year if I can get the chance. I know what that Frankenstein monster's capable of. He's gonna be splitting safeties all day over there. It's awful and I hate it. Yeah. It's horrifying. He's gonna be running slant routes and 5-yard slants the entire time. Just hitch in. Bam, 5 yards, 10 yards, bam, 5-10 yards. I'm gonna hate life the entire time because Kyle out got another weapon. Okay, I hate it. I never want to see him again. Thank God I'm a Colts fan. Thank God I'm a Colts fan.
Yeah, but watch, the Colts are gonna get good in a couple of years and meet the Bills,
and he'll hurt me. It'll be him hurting me all over.
Kincaid's gonna catch a 55-yard touchdown.
Probably.
To win the game.
Probably the way it goes. He would still figure.
Come back behind you, I promise. Either that, or he'll go to the Colts in free agency. Play with Richardson.
To play with Richardson. Oh God. I did a
Richardson or Kincaid will be Richardson's safety valve.
I did a rough thing with the Colts and I had them with 13 wins. Even though I said, they could be 11 wins. They only won 4 games. Better quarterback. JT stays healthy. Why not? In a shitty division, they could win 10 games.
That'd be bold. That'd be a bold pick. So, anyways.
It's a terrible division. That's all I'm saying. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We're wrapping this up. I'm going to go cry into a pillow. I'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Bye. Eat your veggies.